Welcome to Lesson 4 of Watercolor Painting for Beginners. In this lesson, we are going to learn about the wet on dry watercolor technique and how I blend using this wet on dry method. Before we get started, I'm going to go over my supplies. So I'm using a scrap piece of watercolor paper. This is cold pressed paper from Arche's. Brush I use for this tutorial is a size 8 silver black velvet round brush. And now I'm going to share with you the paints that I am using. So for this square, I used Opera Rose from Winsor and Hansa Yellow Medium from Daniel Smith. In this square, I used Phthalo Blue Green Shade and Bordeaux. Both of these are from Daniel Smith. And then in this square, I used Lavender and Shell Pink. Both of these are from Holbein. And I also have 2 jars of clean water. All of these supplies are also linked below in the description for you. Also, if you haven't checked out Lesson 3, the previous tutorial where we go over the wet method, you can go ahead and check that out. I linked it below in the description for you, as well as all the other lessons in this watercolor painting for beginners series. I took a piece of scrap paper and then I kind of divided it into 3 different sections with masking tape, and then I have my paper taped on my desk. And for this first square here, I think I'm going to use the same colors I used for this gradient that we did in the previous lesson using the wet and wet method. So unlike the wet and wet method, we are not going to first wet our paper. Instead, we are going to take the color we want and apply it onto our dry paper. So I'm going to take my size 8 round brush. This is my silver black velvet brush, and I'm dipping it in my clean water jar here. And I'm going to take this Opera Rose Pink just right out of the pan here and paint with it at the top of this square. And then I'm going to dip my brush in my water and just kind of add some more water down here, and then I'm cleaning my brush slightly and then adding some more water to my brush, then kind of blending this down like this. Okay, and then now I'm going to clean my brush completely and then take some of this yellow and paint with it down here and kind of blend it up. I'm dipping my brush again in my water, but I am going to kind of clean it a little bit so there's not as much water or as much yellow in my brush. And then I dip it again in my water jar, and then I'm just kind of blending this up into this lighter pink. And then I'm going to take more of this pink here, add some more to the top, and then kind of work my way down into this yellow. And as you can see, it does kind of create a orange, but I'm just going to let this dry, and I might add another layer on top and to kind of help blend these colors even more. So I'm gonna let this dry, and then we're going to move on to this next square. Again, my brush is clean, and I'm taking this blue, the Phthalo Blue Green Shade from Daniel Smith, and I'm wetting my pan here, and I'm just going to add some to the very top and then kind of add some more water to my brush, add that on, and then now I'm going to clean my brush slightly. There is still a little bit of blue in my brush, and then I'm going to dab my brush in my water and then kind of blend this down. And then now I'm going to take this Bordeaux color from Daniel Smith, and I'm wetting it, and I'm going to add it to the very bottom here and kind of blend up. And then I am cleaning my brush. Again, I'm not cleaning all the way, just a little bit, and then I'm adding some water to my brush, and I'm going to blend this up. And now I am going to work on this square, and I will use my Shell Pink from Holbein and my Lavender also from Holbein. So I'm taking this lavender color and adding it to the very top of the square and then kind of moving this down. And again, I'm cleaning my brush a little bit, then adding some water to my brush, and then kind of just blending this down like this. And then I'm cleaning my brush fully, and then I'm going to get some of this pink here, and then apply it to the bottom. And then move it up. I'm going to put some more down here, move it up a little bit, and then I'm cleaning my brush a little bit and adding some water, and then kind of blending this up into that lavender. If you're happy with how your gradients look, you can go ahead and skip ahead, but I do want to kind of add another layer to these gradients to just help make them pop, and so that I can also create kind of a smoother looking gradient using the wet on dry method. So again, I am going to work on this square first. So I'm taking this opera rose here, and my square is completely dry. This is super important. You want your painting to be completely dry before adding on the second layer. So again, I'm adding on this opera rose, and now I'm just kind of blending it down. I am cleaning my brush a little bit, and then I am taking some clean water and then kind of just blending this down more. And now I'm going to clean my brush completely, and then take this yellow here, add this to the bottom, and then kind of blend up. And then I am cleaning my brush again, not all the way. I'm leaving some of that yellow in my brush, and then I'm kind of just blending this up into the pink. Now I'm going to go back in with this pink again. So I'm adding more pink up here. I'm doing this while my paper is still wet. And I'm kind of blending this into the yellow. Alright, and as you can see, that second layer really made the colors pop. This is why I personally like to at least paint with 2 layers with my watercolor paintings. Now I'm going to work on the second square here. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm taking this Phthalo blue green shade from Daniel Smith, and now I am adding it to the very top here. And then I'm grabbing some water from my jar, and then kind of blending it down like this. And then now I'm going to clean my brush a little bit. I'm keeping some of that blue in my brush, taking some water, and then kind of blending this down more. And then now I'm going to take this Bordeaux, also from Daniel Smith, and I'm cleaning my brush completely. And so yeah, I'm taking this Bordeaux, adding it to the bottom here, blending it up, adding some more water right here, blending it up. Notice how I'm also moving my brush horizontally. I'm not like doing this and then this. I'm trying to create even horizontal strokes. Now I'm cleaning my brush completely and moving on to this final square here. So I'm taking Lavender from Holbein, adding it to the very top here. And then I'm cleaning my brush a little bit, adding some water to it, and then I'm kind of just blending this down more. And now I'm cleaning my brush all the way, and I'm taking this Shell Pink from Holbein, adding it to the bottom, and blending up. And again, I'm cleaning my brush a little bit, adding some water to my brush, and then blending up into that lavender color. And that is it for this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to visit the description below for links to 50 and counting watercolor tutorials and links to free watercolor resources and my favorite watercolor supplies. I'll see you in a future tutorial.